Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm Rick Zanotti and I'm joined today by my good friend, Jeff Blanchard, coming to us from the land down under. Hey Jeff, how's it going?
Good, thank you, Rick. So I've been out and about this week with the cameras, trying to get out there. So
that's good. Now the fires aren't affecting where you are, right?
Well, where I am, because say Australia's so big and we're so sparse where the population had it's about 4 hours drive from me.
Okay.
It's that far, up a bit north, to the east.
Oh, it's north of you.
Yeah, but we're still getting a lot of, the other day it was like a winter fog all day for 3 days, but it was smoke come down from the fires.
I know how that feels.
Really, really bad.
So is this closer to Sydney?
Well, it's still probably just as far away from Sydney as it is us. That's how far it is. But
okay,
it's sort of.
It's off, but it's near the coast, right?
Yes, that's right. But and going in, that's
believe
where
me, you've got like that one guy said, "Don't give me thoughts and prayers, screw it." But you know what? I know how it feels. We've been right in the middle of fires too, and we've been lucky, but they're not fun. And we've had that 6 months worth of literal white fog and dark smoke over us when we had the big 1 million acre fire. The wind blew it right over where we live. And so we had ashes for 6 months. It was not fun.
I heard there was something like 10 million hectares or something so far.
The one you guys have, it's really big. Yeah.
But that's just one, because that's this one here, and there's quite a few different ones going on around the place, like in Tasmania. That's had some ones, but unfortunately we live in a place like California as well. Yep. It gets hot, dry, and this year
windy.
It's been really and also we've had sort of like drought, but in between we've had lots of rain. So what that does, grows everything and shrivels it up and makes lots of fuel to do. So
yep, great. Anyway, today we've got Harold Muliati. He's joining us as a co-host too, and here we go. This show is sponsored by Relate Corporation at www.relate.com, your training and video partner.
Hello, I'm Peter Baker. Please visit voiceovermasterclass.com to see details of the training courses I have on offer for new and existing voice talents to further their career by enhancing voice and technical skills, as well as essential marketing tips.
And we're back.
I think what we should do, Rick, I think you should get Harold on a weekly basis to update the intro with the current equipment. So when we're carrying something, now that you will be carrying the C200 or something like that.
It's sitting over there right now. The C200's that way.
Okay. So what we have on the...
Well, there's a lot of talk right now because the Canon 1DX Mark III is about to come out. And there's a lot of people going, great, I'm going to buy that instead of a C200. And a lot of people are saying, don't. The C200 is actually much better suited for video than the 1DX. If you want it for photos, yes, it's a great photo camera. But the video has some issues, they said, on it that aren't as good as what you get on the C200. I can't speak from experience because we only just got the C200. But I would say from probably an ergonomics point of view and probably from a shooting point of view, the C200 may be a better choice, probably is. According to the people in the know, it is a better choice. So I probably think, that makes sense.
I would still say the 1DX is, to me, I've always thought of that as a photographer's camera, not video for photos. And that does a great video, but it's not, if you want to do it, yes, it will do a great video, but if you're doing video all the time, you go for the right equipment like the C200, and you wouldn't get the C200 if you wanted to generate great still shots, would you?
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that they're trying to position it a little more as a hybrid camera now, because hybrid cameras are so popular. When it's been that line, the Canon one line has been a photographer's camera line primarily throughout the years.
But it's getting, to me though, I think it's shifting back a little bit more to, like we were saying the other week, that video cameras have become, they were started to dwindle and dwindle, but now you seem to see quite a few more video cameras coming because of, I think they've realized, yes, the DSLRs and that do a great job with video, and they did in the first part a little bit, then it got better and better and better, but still, it's still much easier on a video camera. Like, I know I was out with the Panasonic on the weekend and my Sony video camera, and the Panasonic did an excellent quality, still did, I think, probably comparable to the shots on them, but God, it was so damn awkward with the Panasonic compared to the video camera. It's so much easier because it's made for on the run shooting, whereas the camera's made for, like, sit down, set up, prepare for it, wait for that person to come, and then take the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not as easy on that little camera, whereas a video camera, it seems to be, oh, there you go, film, shoot, change the profile, do that. It would seem to be much quicker. Maybe it's just me.
And I mean, I have to wonder as well. I wonder if part of it is influence from, you know, all this scare about YouTube changing its policies, because, you know, hybrid cameras, a large part, I think, of the popularity of them came from the kind of the YouTube creator market. People that can't necessarily afford both a photo and a video camera, people that need something that's smaller so they can bring it around. And now with, you know, a lot of people thinking YouTube might be on the outs because of some of the stuff that's going on, you know, advertiser wise, and with their relations with some other companies.
So what's happening with YouTube though, Harold?
They have that policy change. You know, they did it, I think, December of last year, but it's affecting. It has to do with the children's privacy thing, that COPA, but it's affecting a lot of people's ability to basically make any advertising income off of videos, and you know that's a big thing for a lot of the YouTubers.
Well, that's the thing. How they make the money is the advertising, but it's a bit like, I think it's like the old video libraries where you used to get your DVDs and your films and that. It was a big industry. It was like printing money if you had one of them, but then as you go on, then more people get into it. Then when it gets to the end, it's not so good after all. And I think there's so many people out there making what they say is a fortune, and I think, well, somebody said, so we've got to pull this back a little bit. And as I said, really, I still think it's outrageous that you can have an 8-year-old making $5 million a month or something, ripping open toys.
Yeah.
And then the parents keep all the money.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what there was a thing on there was talking about this. And they said, but we want something to set for the child to go through college. That's what we're keeping. They said, hey, they've got more than enough of a life. They don't need to go to college with the money. Right.
And
their money.
that particular channel that you're referring to kind of was influenced a lot of this Children's Privacy Act stuff, because they were doing a lot of kind of predatory advertising for children.
Well, but that was the excuse. That's the official story. There's a whole mess of conspiracy theories underneath that, which people are talking about. It's basically to stop anybody from any political activity that they don't like. Basically, you're either one party or not, and that's really kind of a shame, because that's where where YouTube is now basically censoring anybody and anybody they want under the excuse of children. But basically, it goes after pretty much mostly a lot of political stuff, and that's wrong. I mean, now mind you, they're a private company; they can do whatever they want. But the way they act more like a utility. So therefore, if you're going to be a utility, be regulated like a utility, and don't hide under pretexts of protecting children. They don't give a damn about children. It's just an excuse. So that's just my 2 cents.
But it's a thing like that's out there with YouTube, though. It's one of those areas where all the networks and that are restricted by a lot of things, but there's a lot on there that's not
there's a
restricted.
lot of garbage. You know, there's so much garbage on YouTube, but they restrict maybe some of the children, I agree with the children policy, but they're also restricting a lot of people who have nothing to do with children. That's just the excuse. Well, you mentioned a child once. What does that have to do with anything? And YouTube's famous for just knocking people out for whatever reason they want. And they don't even give you reasons half the time. Look what happened to Max. Well, I don't know. Max Yuriev, he claims he didn't buy users or viewers. I don't know if he did or not, but he got censored for that, and it took him almost 6 months to get back. So whether he did or not...
He had to create a new channel because that one was pretty much dead after that. So
oh, he did? Did he come back in a different channel?
He had to create a new channel.
Ah, interesting.
But I also found that was something strange on there where I saw somebody else that got tons and tons of views. They said, please unsubscribe from my videos. And the people looked at, why would you say that? He said, well, I've got 100,000 people subscribe to my videos, and then 10,000 people watch my videos. I go further down on the rank because 90,000 people who don't like it. And he said, but if only 10,000 people like it, it will go up to higher in the thing because more people are engaged. So he said, don't subscribe to my channel if you think, oh, I like that one, but I'm never going to watch you again, because it takes them down.
Right.
She's quite strange. So I said, I'm happy, though. I'm never going to have, because I've got about 40 subscribers, so that's not going to make anything different.
I don't really care. I never really cared that much for the like or don't like, because one, it is so non-scientific. I mean, people... And if, let's say you have a big channel and they don't like you, like he said, you can have 50,000 people show up and just say, dislike. Well, that's nice. What does that do to you? I don't know. They say that if you get disliked or liked, it's equivalent, meaning you're getting activity. They like that. But I don't know. It's a lot of people, sometimes we get dislikes and we're going, what do we say to make it dislikeful or distasteful? I don't know.
It's the thing like in everything, like when I look for product reviews, you look for things, and if you see every positive review, I won't buy it, because humans aren't like that. No matter what I say, somebody might like it, and there's always the other person on the other side that won't. It all depends what their mind framed is at the time. So there's always going to be, and like if you don't see any dislikes, you say, hey, all those likes are false. There's usually got to be somebody who doesn't like what you said, or just don't like the look of your channel to start off with. But I think I don't know if YouTube's doing this, but I know they were saying you can't monetize unless you've got over 1,000.
Right.
1,000.
And yet we were monetizing for years, and then they changed it.
Yeah, but even then, if I did it for under 1,000, you're probably not making that many cents. It's probably more trouble than it's
Jeff, I mean, we've been doing our shows for now over 10 years, and we've been on YouTube probably about 4 or 5 years straight. And I'm going to tell you, we got rich from this. We made, what did we make? $1.32?
Yeah.
All these years. And we didn't monetize everything, just some of them. $1.32. You know, that doesn't buy anything today.
Well, just think of it. That's like, what, 160 in Australian?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting up there.
The moment you monetize, all you have to do is start whistling Dixie, and that's copyright. So that's how you can't do that. So and also, I'm sure he's talking in an English accent that's copyrighted by this performer. Oh, sorry, we can't do that. Well, he's wearing those glasses. It's showing the Ray-Ban thing. It's copyrighted, and he hasn't got permission to wear those glasses on there.
The thing about that,
however, if you say the evils of Donald Trump, no matter what you're doing, you could be raping some kid. It doesn't matter. You get a plus. I was just going, and I'm not crazy about Trump, but I mean, geez, cut the guy some slack. No matter what you say, as long as it's anti-Trump, you're good. There's no problem there, and you just go. We may get censored for this, what I just said. And it's like, I really actually wish in a lot of ways YouTube was a little more apolitical than, because, or just say, we may talk about politics. And then they go, no, you can't. You can only talk about those politics or that but not, so you have to say, well, you have to ask YouTube, what is your political preference? And then they'll tell you nothing. And then if you say something against their political preference, then you get dinged. It's like, And that part's a shame because there's a lot of good on YouTube, and God, there's so much garbage on YouTube. I don't know if there's more garbage or good on YouTube, frankly. There's so much junk.
But I did have to laugh. I saw one camera review, and I thought, my goodness, why on earth would he get on there to do that? And he was bagging the camera and all sorts. I didn't know he was doing it in the first one, but I just saw the second review, and he said, "Oh," and then he came on. "Oh, I found it. It's got a button that's called autofocus," and I didn't press it. And I thought, oh, it was one of those sort of videos. It's all smudgy, and it was all, you can't even see my face. He didn't even think about, I've got to focus this. So he was banging.
Well, Casey Stern, right? And in his camera review, yesterday he was doing a review of, or complaining about, DaVinci Resolve, and his complaints were valid, except he was wrong on like 2 or 3 points, and he's like, and he was cursing his head off, going, "Darn, okay, well, sorry about that. We're all learning now. We're all learning." And now he was right on some of it, but he was wrong on the other parts, and he was trying to show it, and it worked. So he's like, and there are bugs in Resolve, and there are weird quirks, and it's not the fastest thing on earth, but yeah, it's kind of cool. But things don't always work the way you think. And you're right. I've seen some of those guys. This is a bloody lousy camera. It's a piece of junk. Well, the camera you bought, the AX700, this one old guy, some British guy, I think he's British, and he's just bitching about it. He's like, a piece of junk. I mean, you Sony engineer bastards. How can you do this? Then he goes, "But I love this camera."
Love it. Like, yeah, that's right.
Wait a minute.
It's the best camera I've used. It does the best job out, but it's a heap of... Yeah, but I just thought, but Rick, it's I can say, we've just got a reputation, English, of being just whinges. No matter what, we've got to complain about something. Like if we're away on holidays, you'll always hear the British tourists saying, "Oh, it's not like it is back home."
Yep. You saw the picture I sent you of the dog we may be getting on Sunday. I think I sent you that.
Yep, I saw that. Yes.
Okay, there was another dog there. His name was Max. He looked like a bear. He just kind of sitting there going. So I looked at him. I went, "It's okay." Shh. And he went, "Okay." And he just went and lay down. And I love the guy. And I asked Leslie, "Did you like him?" She goes, "I loved him." "How come we didn't get him?" She goes, "He looked scary." I go, "No, he was really kind of cute." But he had this kind of personality of, he looked like a grump. He looked grumpy. And I was like, "Hey, I don't blame you. You're grumpy. You're in here. You don't want to be in here." They had just found him. And he's like, He's probably going.
But I must say, going back to Casey's one with the DaVinci, I've been getting into that. And I had the Sony out. And with one of the, for the exposure, had to have one of the NDs on. But then when I looked back at it in post, it was still really dark. But in Resolve, it just in the color correction, just to get the shadows out, like Lightroom, it did such a good job. But you can't see that it's been done that. And also, what I like with Resolve, I wish a lot of programs, it makes you feel like you've got a different program, because every time you start up, it comes up with a different startup screen. Just the same old boring thing. It's just somebody sat there or another person. Different type one, but they do try. Hey, I did see, I don't know if you've seen this, a new great bit of technology. Maybe it's something I just haven't been seeing around, with a product called LoopDeck CT. Have you seen that?
I've heard of that. What is that?
You were telling me about that before.
Is it LoopDeck?
The LoupDeck.
Oh, didn't I tell you about it?
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I told Harold about it. LoopDeck looks really cool.
So I just saw that one, but the new one. But I thought, what that does though, in quick terms, is like the Apple MacBook Pro, where it has that interactive strip across the top. Well, this is a similar sort of thing. So if you're in Audition, those buttons change to have the Audition things. If you're in Photoshop, they change to have the Photoshop things. Or Final Cut, it changes. Premiere, so
and you can create your own.
Yeah, and with just such a little piece of equipment, you haven't got this huge equipment. But that's what I find. If you're on your machine editing or doing, you don't mind, but you'd like something different, like a fine wheel control to do that. Because what I always find, like in Audition, yes, a lot, but I hate just trying to skim across the thing with a mouse or a touchpad or something. It'd be nice just to say, just turn a dial just so you can get that fraction of to place it exactly where you want.
Well, Harold has that other one, the one I gave you.
The Contour, was it Shuttle Pro?
Contour Shuttle Pro?
Yeah.
That's another one, and it's not too bad. It's similar.
It's got a wheel and some shortcut keys, and you use the wheel to go back and forth on the timeline, and it works pretty well.
It's probably not as sophisticated as the Loop Deck, but it's also been around for about 10, 15 years.
But I suppose the Loop Deck for you is about $549 from B&H by the looks of it. So.
Is it that much? I thought it was like $250.
No,
they have different versions. They have different versions.
Well, they've got a Loop Deck, which is pretty much like a keyboard, but it's just got knobs and buttons on it. Right. Whereas this one's got all the LEDs, and it's so much and smaller and much better. And I think the software does a lot better job.
Yeah, I thought that was $250, but maybe I'm wrong.
So this one is $250. The full size one.
Yeah, the $549 is the other one, but that's probably
so that's $549. Okay, I was looking at this one actually.
Yeah, and this one and the other the CT one with all the screens, that I think that makes it so much better because they change with the program, but you can do your own as well. You can do that, but and I like that thing, like the undo button quickly, to save, all just the quick things that you want. They're up and down, just all those main little things, and to have that knob on there as well. And I saw one part where you've even got the timeline count on that knob where it says highlights. You can have that so you can see how it will go up and down as you're going through your timeline. But I thought, but if I get that here though, Rick, for me, if I get it through B&H with the delivery and charges, $805.
Oh, wow!
Transfer, but also as well, unlike those prices for you, they put tax on it. They put our 10% tax. That's because we have to get that now.
To get through customs, right?
Well, we have to get which I don't mind. Yeah, if it's coming here, the country needs the taxes. I have no problem with that, because I thought, well, if everybody bought everything outside, the government would never get anything. But I'd have no problem with that. So, but even the 805 is not outrageous. So.
This is what the Shuttle Pro looks like. This one's a different color, but it's essentially the same thing. Where it's got the button in the middle, and it's got 9 on top that are programmable. It's got the 2 on the sides and the 4 below.
Yeah, that's a newer one, because back in those days they only had the silver one.
Yeah,
it's a bit deceiving, that picture, because it looks like a mouse, but it's
but it's bigger. It's about
is much bigger.
It's about that's twice as big, or more than twice as big than a mouse. Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining. But just on that picture, you just imagine a mouse size, but it's probably more like that Loop Deck size. It's a big, like that sort of size.
I think it's similar in size to the Orbit controller that I'm using here, so it's like a little bigger than a mouse. That's right. So it's a bit decent sort of stuff. But that Loop Deck, it's one of those things. It looks like when you're using a Mac, it's something that look like you'd enjoy using. That it's really nice. You think so, and sort of the layout that you're expecting, more like a computer type keyboard, but with just the things that you.
Actually, Jeff, I've got a question for you on the Mac. The other day, I took a whole mess of pictures, and so I opened them in Finder. Unlike Windows, when you open one picture, you can't just use your right or left arrow to keep going back and forth across the pictures. How do you view without having to go through all that crap? I have to open and close every picture to take a look at it, which is a pain.
You know what? I've never ever looked at a picture through the Finder.
So how do you do? Do you go through photos, or?
I just go through Lightroom, or when I have put all my food in Lightroom, or Luminar. Is it the Luminar 3? But it's just highlight that and go into the file.
Okay, so you do it that way. Okay, because I was thinking, Finder's not working, but Windows Explorer works way better in that respect. But I go, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Or sometimes what I have done, I go into, double click on the hard drive where the file is, click on it, and it gives you a preview. Extend the window, and you can make it bigger. Then just arrow down, and you can go through them that way.
Because it'll show you a preview. Okay.
And you can extend the preview to make it fairly big.
Yeah.
On that side, on that, and then you just arrow down, and you can do that if you want to do. Quickly.
Okay.
I haven't done that before.
I've got to download Luminar. The Luminar 4 now has been out for a couple months. I'm going to download that and run that, because that does a really nice job on the pictures. Have you tried that one?
I have it. It is really good and so
It's
easy
amazing.
with some of the standard presets on that,
Yeah.
and also it doesn't create a database or anything like.
It does now.
Lightroom.
The Lightroom 4 does.
No, Luminar 4. But as I said, it's still
Luminar.
on. But what Lightroom does, you have to generate it so Lightroom will see it. In Luminar, you don't. It will just go into your files in there. It still retains your edits, but it just so if you put something in that file, when you open it up, it will see it. Whereas Lightroom won't, unless you go in and add it to Lightroom.
Yep.
Whereas that one you don't need to. Well, I'm sure unless Luminar's changed it again, but I've got the previous version. But I do like the ease of Luminar. It's I've got nothing against Lightroom either, but as I said, for a standalone product that's only about $70 or something.
Yeah, it's like 40 or 50 here. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. It's a great product, I think. So
I think it's developed somewhere around Williams-Furchik's country. I don't know if it's
I think
Czech or somewhere around there.
And the thing is, with that, it used to be really always a popular one with the Macs, and then they did it for the PC, which was good. But the old name used to sort of indicate that it was Macintosh only.
I know, only Mac. I know. I forgot what it was called. Fun Mac.
Something. I forget what it was, but it sort of indicated, well, people were staying away from it, whereas Luminar, now, at least it's got no mention of what it is, and it's like a lot of the good programs these days. That you just buy them, you say, well, if it doesn't work on both platforms, well, you said you haven't got much of a go on it.
Now,
Well,
when you have a chance, upgrade to Luminar 4. They have this AI stuff that's even better than 3. Especially for Sky. They can do amazing things with Sky.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's pretty cool. I've got to upgrade to it, too. I haven't upgraded to it yet.
They do the Sky, but it does it nicely, not like maybe I might do it. It says, God, that looks too blue. But it does it blue enough without looking false. And so
like maybe a little haze. It's amazing what they can do.
They do a really good job on that. So
very cool software.
Like that.
Yeah, I looked up Skylum, the company that makes Luminar.
Skylum.
While they were actually founded in Ukraine, they're actually currently located in Washington State.
Really?
They moved over to the U.S.
Interesting. They probably have a lawyer there. That's it.
Possibly,
that's right.
but I mean, they don't actually have a headquarters over in Europe anymore.
Interesting. Huh. Or before you know it, it'll be acquired by Microsoft.
Yeah.
You probably find it's somebody's grandmother's. They've got them sitting there, and that's where if you go there.
Igor. God, you haven't been a good boy, Igor.
We are cynical. We are cynical.
We are.
You wouldn't think any company would just put an office in a particular country just to get buys or views or anything like that. Because like we have that here.
Well, I know one company that does that, but I won't say who they are.
But we have here, like you see a lot of things, .com.au, the URL, so it's an Australian URL, it's an Australian company. And a lot of the time, it's somebody in Hong Kong that you're buying it from. That's why.
Like DJI. DJI is in Hong Kong. I never knew that. I thought they were somewhere else.
But they don't try and hide it. You know that they are. They don't pretend that they're in Australia, but some here that pretend they're Australian companies, and via the prices, you say, well, it's not Australian product. It's grey imports.
Yes.
Somebody's doing something strange, and it's coming from. But sometimes the language they use on their website. Sometimes, now that's somebody who doesn't really know how to speak English.
Right.
To translate. That's the way that they say things sometimes. But that's just so everybody's it's an Australian company will buy from that. But you've just got to be very careful these.
Now, why is it that in Australia they have such good developers? Because they really do. They make very good products. Especially in software, there are some very good Australian developers. It's interesting because I've actually worked on a lot of different programs. I found it's from Australia, pretty cool. It's interesting because I don't know how technological or how much of a techie company or country Australia is, but I'd say, look at vMix. vMix is done up in northern, what is that, Victoria up there? No, they're north of Sydney. I can't remember. I think it's closer to where your brother is.
Brisbane. They're in Brisbane.
They're in Brisbane.
Female.
That's up where he is, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. And it looks lovely up there. But they're very good programmers. Other companies. There was a mind mapping software, Nova. I think it was NovaMind. They were on the other side of the continent, and they're just very, very well written, good programs. And they stand out by being good. And so, even Blackmagic Design, they do a lot of pretty good work, and they're a major player in the video industry.
Well, it must be very good up there, because that's where Hollywood use Queensland a lot for the studios up there for filming the Marvel movies and editing things. So they have a lot of things that are produced in Australia these days, which I never used to realize until you look into it and you say, oh, that was made here and all that, because I think sometimes the production costs are costing so much when they get in the Hollywood area, they go to a lesser known Australian and probably get it a bit cheaper. And even though they fly everybody over to that, and for certain these days, it doesn't matter where they are, it's all CGI, isn't it? As long as we've got huge tracts of land with big green screens on it, they can do anything with it. And then if they put a bit of a
here's the key question. Whatever happened to Jenny Agutter?
Yeah, well,
she was gorgeous.
She went to what was it? Well, not the. I'm saying the dinner ladies. It's not. It's what is when you? Oh, there was a show. I can't even remember. The people who help women give babies. What are those?
Midwife.
The midwife. That's the midwives.
Right. The midwives. Then they have the doula. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that? Because Vanessa Redgraves narrates it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
That sounds
familiar. Jenny Agutter is the old midwife, the old nun who is in that home. But she does a good job. But she's doing that now. There's about 5 series. It's a very good series, because I thought.
Is that in England or Australia?
Yes, England. So
England. Okay.
The midwife is set in about the 1950s or something.
Interesting.
But she does such a good job. But she's one of those actresses that's gone from young to older, and doing still an excellent job, where you still say doing a great job. And
I think she's probably somewhere in her 60s, maybe even 70.
I think she's even in 70s, but she does such a damn good job even now. But it's good to see that you go for all through you, and you can still work in that. But that just goes to show, like everything else in this world, if you've got true talent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she was good.
Sometimes these people don't.
How old is Jenny Agutter?
Jenny Agutter is 67 years old.
67.
Oh. Yes.
Now, Vanessa Redgrave's probably... Hey, Siri, how old is Vanessa Redgrave?
Vanessa Redgrave is 82 years old.
82? Wow.
Yeah, I thought she narrates it, because what Vanessa Redgrave is she's the 82-year-old woman narrating her young self back in 1955
or
something.
Interesting. Okay.
So she narrates it, but she says, when I was a young, but she does such a good job. I meant to say, I watched when you're talking about Siri, I watched your video the other day when you was doing your lights, having a go on that. And you said about the CT value or something. One of the
CRI.
The CRI index or something. You said
color render index. Yeah.
And every time you said that, I had it on the speaker. Siri came up. I don't understand what Siri.
Did it really?
Yeah, it sounded a bit like. But every time
CRI?
you said, "Well,
I don't understand you."
Color racks into it. It sounded like Siri, but she said, "I'm sorry, I don't understand
that's
what
funny.
the color rating index is." But she activated every time you said that, and I thought,
"Oh, that's funny."
Was strange.
I was controlling it from a distance. Control.
But I thought that was so. Those lights were damn good, though, weren't they?
They're amazing.
She's come on again. She came on just then.
Because I said Siri, CRI.
No. But she's just. She
I
said,
hear
okay. Yeah, but because we said
color, CRI index.
CRI index, and she comes on with something.
Oh, how funny!
And people say the devices are not listening to you. because I'm sure I don't have apps switched on, but they still come alive every now and then. So you know, Apple.
I find. I mean, Siri's okay. Sometimes she's as dumb as a stump, and other times she does an amazing job. Today I was trying to get Leslie's OK Google to work. Oh my God. 5 times dictating the same message and it couldn't get it. Couldn't figure it out. It says, "What's your message?" I just read you the "Okay, Siri." And by the end I'm going, "You stupid idiot. Why can't you get this message?" And it goes, "What was your message?" 5 times.
When you've got your message. What would you like to do with it? Send?
Send
or
it?
delete? Send.
Or change it.
Okay, I've deleted your message. I've sent that to Jeff Blanchard. No!
No! And I'm always afraid, is it going to send it to the right person? You don't know. Yeah, it's
currently 19 degrees.
It's currently 90, but she does good for things like that. Say, "Hey, Siri, what's the temperature?"
It's 19 degrees right now.
Yeah,
so it's pleasant out there. That's pretty pleasant.
Yeah, but it's going to be about 36 today, I think.
Oh, really? 36?
There's no weather info for Noble Park.
Sorry, there's no weather information for Noble Park. So
wherever we got that from, right?
In Los Angeles? Hey?
It's about 33 degrees in Law Island.
And Law Island,
Long
I said
Island.
Los Angeles.
Jeez.
But Law Island, not even Long Island. It said Law Island. So what's the
Gosh.
temperature in Los Angeles?
It's currently 17 degrees in Los Angeles, California, the United States.
It's about right.
So,
That's
yeah,
about
so
right.
you've got
Well,
the
actually,
Australian-
let's see. Where we are... Let's see.
Did you
Hey,
see
Siri,
also
what's
there's
the temperature here?
It's 64 degrees right now.
64
about the same.
degrees. Hey, Siri, how much is 64 degrees in centigrade?
64 degrees Fahrenheit is 17.8 degrees
17, but
Celsius.
we're almost like you. 17.8.
Yeah. Did you see there's a show on Netflix called The Witcher? Have you seen that?
No, I heard of it, though.
Well, one of the characters is called Siri.
Oh, gosh.
And I thought that's going to cause problems, isn't it, for when people are watching?
yeah.
Hey, Siri, come over here! And somebody's going to say, "Hey, Siri," sometime, aren't they? And maybe that's one of those conspiracy theories. Rick.
Maybe.
They've done that so the whole world will be watching this. 10 million people will be watching it. At a certain point, say, "Hey, Siri, do this," and all all phones are going to do this one thing, and the world's going to fall to pieces. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
it could. You know, it could happen. that would make a good movie.
Well, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it, to do that? But then they've sort of done that with the I forget.
Now here's how the plot would go, Jeff. Hey, Siri, and all the Siris would immediately become Samsungs. And the president of Samsung would come on and say, "I am now in control." Not Siri. Now that would be interesting.
Well, it would be, but I think there was a film doing that where the evil man developed and gave away free phone cards with free internet access worldwide, and everybody dumped all the things because it's unlimited internet connection with your phone. And then activated the devices to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was the movie Kingsman.
Oh, Kingsman.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to remember Kingsman. I
Yeah,
couldn't
Samuel
remember the
Jackson
name. But
played the bad guy in that.
yeah, but that
Gave all
was
the phones away.
that's not. It's quite frightening because that's sort of, hey, well, somebody if they did that, it might not be as bad as that, but they could do something like that if they had billions that they didn't care about. They could just do, we'll just give that away and do.
Hey,
all
by the
that,
way,
so.
today we were watching before we came into the show a little bit of Larry Ellison's history. The guy who runs Oracle, founded Oracle. The guy's worth almost $60 billion. He has
No, more than 60, almost 70.
almost 69. You're right. It was like 69 billion. He's got more houses, acres, 250-acre home estates. It's amazing. He's got lots of those. He's got a Citation 5 plane, a Citation 10 plane. He's got how big was that yacht? Like 250 feet or something?
I don't remember.
It was
but
huge. It has it can seat 18 people in luxury bedrooms and probably has a crew of at least 7. And the guy is just interesting. And all that from running a database. Wow. Wow.
Incredible.
And he dropped out of school twice. You don't need a degree. This guy didn't need it. He just did it. And you just go, wow, that's pretty cool. Now, he's a total jerk from what I've heard. I know people who've known him or worked with him and went, but he doesn't care. Now he's a samurai. He thinks he's a samurai. He's a little tweaked. He built an emperor's castle in San Jose with, I think, 200 acres or something like that. And it looks very pretty, but he's a little off. Just a little. Are you looking for a picture?
Trying to find the picture of him in the...
We'll probably see a picture of it.
Mentioning Larry, I just saw an article from our friend Larry Jordan the other day, warning people about, when you're video editing, how you pixelate people's pictures out.
Yeah.
Pixelate and
yeah, do it like Gaussian blur. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, don't do that anymore.
Why?
He said you can't, because there's technology out there that you can the AI can undo it. So it can undo it, show the face. So the only way you can cover it up if you do something black over them, but if you do that, it can figure out what you've done and undo it, so you'll be able to see the content underneath it. So,
interesting.
I just thought, I never wasn't aware of that, but I thought that's quite an interesting sort of little hint to watch out for.
We'll just superimpose Jeff's face over people from now on. Yeah.
But then you have to have my release, actor's release, and pay me for it. That's the only problem. So every time, so why is he's up? He seems like Jeff seems to turn up everywhere. No, that's whenever you don't want to see somebody's face. It was just like I never always used to understand what melon farmers had to do in America. There were so popular melon farmers a lot of time, and it took me years to figure out that it wasn't you dirty rotten melon farmer that they was talking about. You just look at the lips and say that. Because they used to, when as a kid, I thought, what's melon farmers got to do with America? But there used to be a lot of dirty rotten melon farmers there, I tell you. So
yep.
But it took me years to figure that one out.
Hey, did you ever see the old show F Troop?
Yes.
About the U.S. cavalry, right? And they had an Indian tribe, the Fakawi, and they would always say, "Where the fuck are we?" And it got right through the censors every single time. Where the fuck are we? It was classic because back then nothing got through censors, but that did. It's just sort of funny.
We had one here who used to do a crow call, and it started out like a crow call, but in the end it turned out to be the word that what a crow call sounds like. But they didn't realize. Then all of a sudden he'd said it really without them realize. But he got banned for 5 years. Back in the year, but that was back in the
60s,
the
70s. Yeah.
And then he got banned. Then he came back 10 years later in disgrace. But I think now people say so many revolting things like, "I'm not a prude," but I think television's a place where it's everywhere. You just be sensible. I don't mind the odd one, but
it's crass now. No, it's very crass. It's just crude, and it just brings everybody to become more cruder. It's just disgusting.
And I mean, it's got its place when you in private with people, but when you public view, yes, it has, and it. Plus, when they say it too often, it loses its edge. So when I saw this show years ago where there's not one bit of swearing in it, but this doctor said it. But it really was in the right point because it made that typical point, that she would have never said it in a million years, but it was there for a purpose. And you like that because that was the whole point. It was supposed to be damning and cutting, and from somebody who would never say that. So,
we did training once for Los Angeles County in their prisons, and we had to write a script that was real. I wrote the script, so I remember this. It had to be real because you had patients that were acting up. They had mental problems, prisoners basically, and they're in the patient wards, and the cursing is very common. So we didn't whitewash it. We just said, "Here's the words," and it was all there. And all the people, the therapists who were there, were acting, and a lot. We've showed it to some other people, like, "Oh my God, how can you use that language?" It's not we that's using the language. That's the language they hear every day. You can't teach police by saying something like, "I'm really unhappy and I'm going to scream." That's not how it comes out. That would be very unreal training. So it was just to the point, real. And it's amazing how many people that we showed that to were like, oh my gosh. And of course, they didn't do business. So I go, we're doing what they're asking for and on purpose. They can't learn if you don't do that because they're dealing with the worst elements in society. And they're not going to be nice and gentle with them.
We've got a slightly different thing here. They're talking about now, the soccer or football where you kick it and you don't touch it with your hand. But what they do, they headbutt something, they hit it with your head to hit it in. Now they're saying that they've found that over years with that it can cause brain damage.
Oh, yeah.
And so now they're banning the under 12s from doing that.
Yeah.
But what they say is, well, no, you either ban it totally but don't just ban the under 12s because you ban the under 12s. So when they get to 13, they go out and then get hit in the head because they don't know how to do it.
Right.
So it's the same thing like if the policeman's going out to see that and he's confronted with this one yelling and screaming these words of obscenity, he'll go home crying.
Yeah.
But because the video never told him, he said, "Hello, you darn police officer! I'm not going to do what you want. Go away." And they said they never come to your level. You have to have it realistic if you're doing the right.
If you go in the military, they give you real simulations of what it's like to be in combat because when they get into combat, it's not pleasant. It's not a fun experience, and the noise alone of combat can make people crazy. So it's interesting. Well, okay, we are now 10 minutes overtime, and we had like 2 minutes of tech in the beginning.
We tried to go to some.
We were kind of going around tech. Yeah,
we talked about video cameras.
Yeah.
We talked about YouTube content creation.
Screenwriting.
We talked about video editing.
Yeah, screenwriting. Yeah. These were videos.
We talked about the different controllers for video editing. Yeah.
I might do that. I might do a documentary video of me playing the actor saying my life inside or something like that. Yeah, do with all the right get all dressed up and
the
see if
real
anybody knows.
Jeff Blanchard.
I'll do like a Casey Stern with a wig on, with his different cap. Hey, man. When he puts his blonde wig on or his jeans.
He's the perfect Jeff Blanchard.
I haven't watched him for a while. I have a rest every now and then. I appreciate his videos, but I don't.
He was sort of funny yesterday with that DaVinci Resolve tutorial. It was actually pretty funny.
And it's good because there's no. If he says, "Oh, I stuffed up on that one. Yep. Oh, I didn't realize." Now this one,
this one's bad though. Yep.
This one.
We should get him. Actually, we have to ask to get him on the show again because he's in Canada now. No excuse not to come on.
Yeah, that's right. And then the East Coast, isn't he? He's in Toronto.
He's in Toronto. Yeah, and I think he's just afraid that we're funnier than he is. That's the thing.
Oh, we can't be. We can't. That can't be the case. Anyway,
no, but you never know. No. Anyway, Jeff. Right. Well, hey, have a great weekend. Sunday we'll find out if we get a new dog or not. So we'll see. He has to get along with Rosie. If he doesn't,
I was just going to say I saw that one that said an Australian Shepherd cross. I thought, because one eye's Australian Shepherd, the other one's not, because they both have both eyes like that.
No, they said the Aussies have. It's very common to have the two different eyes.
But the Australian one's usually a bit fluffier. Because also there's another dog breed called a Coolie. Which a Coolie is an Australian Shepherd but short-haired. So it
like
might
him,
be
he's short-haired.
Yeah, it might be a Coolie instead of an Australian Shepherd.
He was really sweet.
But a friend of mine's just got a Coolie puppy and they're lovely dogs, but they've got the same eyes, but they're not. The Australian Shepherd tends to be fluffier. But I think this one might be a Coolie cross because
he's totally cute. Yep,
they're lovely dogs though. They are a nice dog.
So I'm hoping he likes our dog, and then we can have him. Yeah, he's 7 years old. He needs a home. So. That was Sam.
Most of the time they're not because they know at that age, that I want to fit in.
And he's 7 years old, so he should be. He seemed really mellow there.
Yeah, and most dogs are not too bad.
You know what I was doing to him? I was pulling his ears, pulling his face, putting my hand in his mouth, tickling him under his ribs. I was pulling his legs. Nothing bothered him. I go, that's a good sign.
Okay.
Another dog might go. So, anyway, we'll have a good weekend, and And we will see you guys next week. I think we do have a guest next week on Tech Down Over. Take care. Bye, Jeff. Bye,
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.